Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's time to grab a cup of joe and enjoy the show. Summer is here, so what better way than to spend your summer nights at Edwin Coe Spirits? I sit down with their co-owner, Kristen Collins, to learn all about their upcoming summer events and live music series. And later, we continue our Mental Health Matters series with Viking Psychiatry. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Edwin Coe Spirits. We're talking all things summer fun today, and what better way than to be out on a patio enjoying drinks and entertainment. And right now I am here at Edwin Coe Spirits, joined by their co-owner, Kristen Collins. Hi, Kristen.
Hello.
Okay, so summer's here, and we're so excited because you guys always have something that you are offering.
Yes.
In addition to your cocktails, entertainment, right?
That's right. Yes, you bet.
So tell me, what does the summer look like here for the most part?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as here at the distillery, we're open every Friday and Saturday for dinner, provided by Fork and Fiddle, a huge, extensive craft cocktail menu made by, us truly, from the spirits to the made from scratch house recipes of a variety of craft cocktails, something for everyone. And we do offer live music then on Saturdays too.
Okay, so this is all throughout the summer, and we're out here on the patio. So this is the stage, right?
Yep.
Where it all goes down. And something that's really cool that people are like, wow, like you guys are a distillery.
Yeah.
So you make your items from grain to bottle and then to glass.
That's right. That's
right.
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of background in case someone's just learning about Edwin Coe.
Edwin Coe is a grain to glass artisan distillery here in Indiana. We were founded in 2016 by my husband, who has some family roots. He had a great-grandfather who was a bootlegger in the days of Prohibition, had a pretty mean, legendary reputation down in Louisiana. And so Joe has taken his great-grandfather's recipe and just built off of that and really expanded to what now I think we're up to 9 spirit products. And so my husband's really talented at making, spirits. And luckily, I really enjoy drinking them. So it's fun to do all this stuff.
Perfect duo. Talented at making spirits, and you're talented at making these recipes. And that's something that's so fun. Like, you actually play with these drinks, you taste them, you want to provide something for every single palate and what people are looking for in their cocktails. And so let's talk a little bit about your summer menu that we are rolling out. So today we're going to talk about the items here, and then we're going to have a little bit more fun later this week and actually hop behind the bar and mix some drinks. Okay, so tell me about this situation here.
So a few that we brought out with us today. Right in front of you is what we call Coe's Cup. It's a ripped off a Pim's Cup, which is traditional English drink. And so this is our house infused gin. So it's our soft gin, which is already light and botanical, but we've infused it with cucumber and mint. And then I'm gonna ask you to try one of these fun little cucumbers that have been marinated on camera.
Oh my God.
Just for the appreciation of how potent these bad boys are. Because if you get this drink here,
they look like pickles.
They do look like pickles. So they've essentially been pickled, but in gin. And so it's kind of like Harry Buffalo style of you're gonna feel woo-wee.
Wait a minute.
I know I said I'm gonna do this to you on camera. But
were they infused in liquor?
Yes, I'm like, it's like a shot is essentially what you just took,
liquor
right?
pickles.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. What was it infused with?
So that's it with our soft gin with mint and the cucumber.
Okay.
All good from here.
And then what do we have here?
This is our blackberry smash. So this is our house-made blackberry shrub. Shrub is...
Yes.
Yeah. So it's adding vinegar for acidity instead of like citrus, like lemon or lime. And then it's very herbal, so it's got the basil in there, and then we've done some cracked black pepper as well.
And this is with the bourbon.
Correct. That's our high rye bourbon.
Okay. And then what is this beautiful? This is like Sex in the City, a little cosmopolitan, but not.
Yes, this is a Clover Club, which is really kind of I would say a classic cocktail in a way, but it's on our spring menu. So it's made with our house raspberry syrup, lemon, a little bit of egg white foam, and fresh raspberry garnish.
Ooh, and what's the liquor?
Soft gin.
That's fun. Okay, and then what is this last one here?
Last but not least, this is our dessert cocktail for this menu. This is a root beer float, so it's made with our vodka, a vanilla bean cream, iced cream in there.
Yeah. Get your traditional flavors of like, oh, I want to be out on the patio, listening to music, and then drinking a float. So this is fun. So let's talk about the entertainment that people can receive as they are drinking these luscious drinks.
Yes. So we like to feature music outdoors, weather permitting. We can bring them inside, of course, if not. But our back patio is family friendly, so you can bring your family, enjoy the atmosphere here. It's enjoyable. You can still have a conversation. You know, it doesn't get so rowdy that you don't feel like you should have your kids here. You know, it's a family friendly place too. In that way. Now we do keep it 21 and up inside. So if weather is inclement, maybe bring kiddos another day.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about other things that you have available. So you all do a variety of things, more than people I think may understand. So of course they can come into your tasting room, enjoy stuff, but you host events. Give me a rundown of some of your recent events.
So, I mean, just the other weekend, we were doing bridal showers here at the distillery. Off-premise, we were doing brunch on bar, which we do every Saturday from 9 to 1, downtown Fort Wayne. So if you haven't been there, you've got to get there. It's just, there's so many vendors. It's so much fun. But come and seek us out. Find us. You can try samples. You can buy bottles. We've got select cocktails that we bring. It's just a really good time. So we're there every Saturday through the month of September. And then we also do First Fridays in this towns, or excuse me, the cities of Columbia City and Auburn. So we're there first Friday of each month in the evening hours. So those towns have festivals, and so we're there, we're setting up, and similar thing, come try our product. So if you haven't quite made it to the distillery, you know, we'll come to you.
And so let's talk about some of the events that you actually house here. So people can rent out your space to do, you were saying, bridal showers. Right now is big for graduation, right? Tell me more.
So we have several graduation parties booked this year. So, you know, you can invite 100 people. We can easily accommodate that, have guests come in and out. It's very flexible. We allow you to bring in pretty much whatever you want as far as food. You just get your bar service from us, and it's just a nice, easy process. So you can reach out to us through our website, edwincoespirits.com, to learn more about that. Yes, we've had bridal showers. We have an upcoming wedding actually here in July. We've got a couple more of those later down in the year. So yeah, it's kind of meets all walks of life kind of a thing for us.
I could totally see that, by the way. It's like, okay, they can do it outdoors, out here, have your wedding, maybe do a little cocktail hour out as you prepare for the reception in.
Exactly right, absolutely.
I'll just be the planner. No. I'll hop behind the bar and mix up some drinks. How about that?
That's right.
Okay, I love that. Okay, so so one thing people may not realize is with you all being a distiller, fun things happen here. I mean, you're making your product here, you're bottling it, people can buy it here, people can drink it here, but sometimes things happen. So what happened recently?
So recently we had a happy accident where we ended up with a foolproof cask strength bottle that came up at 176 proof, which is unheard of. You know, we sell Old Co at 90 proof, and there's a proofing down process that Joe does, but for 176 proof, you know, usually even a cask strength is 112, 118. So this was a really, really exceptional barrel. And don't worry, I double checked him. I was like, are you sure you did that right? Because I'm his wife. So you know, I'm gonna ask those questions. He's like, yes, this went in with several others. No other barrel came out like this. So had a tiny pinhole in it. There was some surface tension, some science behind all of that, and so essentially it allowed the evaporation of the water, and so we got this really concentrated Old Co. I would love for you to try it today if you're interested.
Listen, I am always down for doing it for the people. So we're going to try it today. But this is what's so cool about this story that I found so fascinating. When people found out that this happened, they were coming in droves. They're like, I need that bottle. So you actually released a specialty line of just that barrel, and top people got it. You sold out in like a week of this product.
A whole barrel gone in that time. It was wonderful. It was like it was like a gift from God, we'll say, instead of the angel's cuts. You know, that's what they call it when your evaporative loss of your liquor occurs. So 176 proof. I would suggest that you smell it, swirl it, that's good. I would get a little bit on your tongue and let that heat dissipate, because that first sip is going to be pretty hot. And then after you get past that, then it will be time to actually try to appreciate the flavors that are happening there. Oh yeah, it's hot. Ooh. We did it just for this, just to get to see your face.
Okay. That was crazier than that cucumber. You were really giving it to me today, Kristen. thank you so much, Kristen.
Thanks for
sharing
coming out
about this, and I love the story.
Thanks for being a good sport.
Yes, always. This segment sponsored by Edwin Coe Spirits.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry. It is Tuesday, so welcome back to Mental Health Matters. And I am speaking with Sean Goddard, who is over Viking Psychiatry, as he provides us with really great mental health information and solutions. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. So good to see you again.
You as well. Okay, so over the last couple of weeks, we dove into depression. Such a huge topic that so many people are facing on a day-to-day basis with themselves and also within their family. And so we talked about the basics, we talked about treatment. Today, let's talk about depression in adolescents. Okay, our kids are getting hit across the board with so many things that could really affect their mood, and they do fall into depression. So let's start off, share with me what you're seeing. As you see your patients, what are you seeing in kids right now?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was tough when I was growing up, right? But now, teens nowadays face so much more. You know, I saw it with my daughter when she was going through high school, the social media, and, you know, when we talk about wanting to be the Joneses, these kids really experience that quite a bit of these expectations of what they're supposed to do or what they're supposed to look like or what's cool, and that's the wrong word for today's day and age, right? But what's cool today. And there's a lot of pressure there that goes along with it, and do you fit inside what's normal, and who's defining what's normal? And so there's a lot of additional pressure there. On top of that, you know, I remember when I was that age, it was common for you to go to school, then you go home, you have a snack, right? You do your homework, and then you go to your sports, and you play your sports for an hour or two, and then you're home in time for dinner generally, right? And you have your downtime. And now what I see are these kids who are involved in 3, 4, 5, 6 sports, so much pressure to achieve, right? And so they're going straight from school, straight into the sport. They're not getting any downtime, any snack time, right? Any family time. They're doing sports all the way through dinner. They're getting home at 9, 10 o'clock at night, right? Still have to do their homework. And then at 11 o'clock, it's okay, shut our brain off and go to sleep, right? Which is really hard to do. So they're often have so much pressure and then expected to do so much more. And these kids are averaging, you know, 5 hours of sleep. And that's just not sustainable long term. And so I think all of this directly plays an effect in their overall mental health.
Yes, and you make such a good point about the things that they have to accomplish throughout the night. I mean, we all only get 24 hours, but I feel like even the homework is like insane. You have to go home and do 3 hours worth of homework or 5 hours worth, and there's no time for that breathing room just to enjoy a little life. I mean, these are still young folks that are developing in their mind and trying to create a balance, but they should not have to have the same burden as someone that's going to college. And so, so when they are overwhelmed, and like you said, that pressure point at the end of the night, and they cannot turn off their brain, and so what does that end up doing, and how does it roll over to actually bouts of depression?
Yeah, so, I mean, really when you have, we've all been in that situation where we've wanted to be in first place, right, or be the best, and when we're not in first place, we often beat up on ourselves, right? And when there's so many pressures from so many different areas, it's hard to achieve everything that it is that you're wanting to achieve, and there's so much stress and pressure to not only achieve but to be good at what you're doing, that when we don't get there, that can really weigh down on us, right? When we want to please our mom or please our dad and be the best player, right, or get the best grades, but you can't be the best at everything, but there's this expectation that you are, and that can drag you down, right? And with such a go-go world, there's hard to have connection and interaction, and that's so important for us as human beings to have connection and interaction. But instead, the connection and interaction is through this, right? Through that electronic device that we're holding in our hand. And often we don't get to sit down and have dinner with our family like, you know, we used to be able to do, right? It's eating on the go and those types of things. And all of that weighs in on us, right? We're not designed to be alone. We're not designed to be behind an electronic device. We're designed to be connected and grow and learn from each other. And so I think all of that plays a significant role on why we see teens who, a greater percentage of teens who are not only struggling with depression, but severe levels of depression, right? And often facing suicidal thoughts and extreme negativity because they didn't achieve or they didn't do exactly what they wanted to do, or they don't feel loved or appreciated because they don't have those interactions that they really need.
Yeah, yeah, and like you said, that the power of comparison is just one of those things that is just so sad. Comparison, of course, kills all joy. You know, it steals just moments from your own personal success, achievement, and being excited about the future, which is hope. And so when people lose hope is when they go into those depressive thoughts, because they said, oh, I cannot get out of this. I feel like it's so heavy on me. And then that flows to suicide. And so when we talk about some of these triggers and the reasons why, let's talk about some of the treatments, because I know that treatments are actually very limited for adolescents, right?
Yeah, regretfully, when it, typically first-line treatment should typically look at therapy, right? Assuming the level of stability of the client, looking at therapy and getting out there and being able to talk and make a connection and understand the stress and the pressures and the emotions that you're feeling, right? And normalizing feelings, right? Because the problem is when people are struggling, when teens are struggling, a lot of times they feel abnormal and they feel like their thoughts are wrong, right? Maybe because of the way they were brought up. And so letting them understand that it's okay to feel the way that they're feeling, help them understand that and help guide them forward. And so therapy is one of the main options here in Fort Wayne. And then often, depending on their level, we look at medications, preferably in conjunction with therapy, but medications are the next option. The concern there is there's so many limitations. So many medications are only approved for the ages 18 and above. And so one of the consistent concerns that providers have who treat the adolescent and pediatric population is that I just have the same tools to use over and over and over again. And when those tools don't work, right, what do I do? How do I get them help? And we really struggle in the Fort Wayne community to have options available in mental health. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know that there is an option that you provide at Viking Psychiatry, and this is the knocks out. We talked about knock out, and it's nitrous oxide. So tell me, what is nitrous oxide?
Yeah, so nitrous oxide, most people know it as laughing gas, right? It's commonly used in the dentist's office. It's also being used in ERs and on ambulances. So for example, a kid needs an IV in the ER, and we get really excited when somebody comes with a needle, and so they'll use it to calm them down. Or let's say somebody's in a car accident and they're trapped and they have to cut them out. They'll use nitrous oxide to help them relax while that is processing, and they get them out of the vehicle, right? And so what we have found, there have been some studies ongoing in using nitrous oxide, more specifically a split of nitrous oxide and oxygen, 50-50, used as a inhaled treatment for 30 to 60 minutes. And the studies are very promising. They're phase 2 right now, showing the success in using nitrous oxide in depression and for acute suicidality. And so there are some practices in the U.S., which include Viking Psychiatry, that have decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and have that available because of those limitations that we see often. And so we're going to be opening up this treatment to ages 13 and above. And so there's many different situations in where you could use it, but we're really excited about having this available and having another option for teens, because when you're struggling, again, we've talked about this before, you don't want to feel better in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, you want to feel better now. When you're suicidal, right? People talk about hospitalization, and sometimes that can be scary, and there's a appropriate time for hospitalization, but at the same time, if we can avoid that, sometimes that can be a really good thing, because the experience of hospitalization within itself sometimes can be very traumatizing for folks.
And that is interesting, like the speed in which this medicine and procedure really works, because it goes into the mind, and you say that people can feel relief like within the first treatment of their thoughts change. They're not on that ledge anymore. They're calming down, and it's all about how the brain is working and just lowering those levels of flight or fight mode, really, right?
Yeah, so we've talked about before how like medicines nowadays, they tend to target serotonin, norepinephrine, and dopamine, right? And that's the same pathway we've been going on for a long time in psychiatry. And knocks out is able to treat the glutamate pathway, right? And so very similar to like the Spravato that we talked about. And so when they get a treatment, that's being affected immediately, right? And so they come in for 30 to 60 minutes and they are able to feel an immediate difference. So let's say, you know, you're a teenager and you're going to get treatment and maybe they started you on a medication, right? And that medication isn't working and you're not feeling good and they say, okay, we want to try another medication. Well, that switch can be very hard, right? Even the first time you're put on a medication can be hard. And to tell that teen, you have to wait 8 to 12 weeks to feel better. So this is where knocks out comes into play, right? Because we start that initiation, you come to our practice and you do a treatment once a week for 4 weeks. And what the studies have shown is it causes a not long lasting, but an immediate elevation in mood and decrease in anxiety and stress levels. We do something called the DAS-21 when we do these scores, and we're able to see these sudden significant drops in stress and anxiety and depression, right, while that new medication is taking its time to take effect. And so we're able to support those people, help improve mood instantaneously, hopefully, and potentially prevent hospitalization as well.
Yeah, I love this. It's kind of like the ambulance of treatment for the mental health, because instead of that long term, like you said, the hospitalization, the process of like a long surgery, for example, you're able to put them in the ambulance immediately and stabilize them on site. And that is really cool. And it's so cool to learn that there are these innovations that's out there and that it's available right here in Fort Wayne. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing today, Sean.
Absolutely. I appreciate being here again.
Yes. And if you'd like more information about Viking Psychiatry, we'll have their website listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Viking Psychiatry.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.